Hey, folks, I've had such a busy week. I thought today was Friday. Or maybe I was just hoping that today's Friday. Let's get some people here, folks. And, you know, if you're anywhere near the desert, I feel sorry for you. It's going to be 115 degrees. But nothing I can do about the weather, folks. I got no control over that at all. Okay, so don't blame me for the weather. If you get rain, you get hurricanes, earthquakes, what tornadoes, you can't blame me. I know a lot of people want to blame me for a lot of things. There's Agent Orange. How are you today, buddy? Folks, I want to tell you something. Every day at the end of my show, I always tell you, be kind to others, and it'll come back to you tenfold. Sometimes it's a simple hello. Good morning. You walk in the grocery store, you know the clerk's name. People love to be called by name, by their name. I don't care what walk of life you come from. Whether you're a janitor or, you're an executive in one of those big office buildings downtown. Okay? We got marijuana grow. How are you? How's the marijuana doing? Is that the business we should be going in today? There's my girl, Stacy. Viviana. How are you, Stacy? Stacy says I look great. God bless you. I feel great. I feel fantastic, folks. Let me tell you. I had those little health problems a few months back. And I was nervous. I gotta be honest with you. I was nervous. For some reason, the creatine levels of my kidneys spiked like crazy. And doctors are all talking about this and that, and they had me scared as hell. Okay? We got my friend from Spain. How are you? How you doing, Mike Drake? Thank you all for coming. So, folks, I'm going to be honest with you. I was nervous, okay? Because I refuse to sit in one of those chairs and, what they do with people who have kidney problems. But my doctors at the VA, they took a different approach. They said, there's a reason that it spikes so high. Let's find out the reason. And folks, I gotta tell you how grateful to them I am for finding out what's the reason that it spiked. And they found out. There were some medications I was on, the side effects of those medications, or what they do. Folks, no matter what medication your doctor puts you on, okay, you got to remember there might be a good side to it, but the bad sides are 10 times worse. Because they got me off it, we got my blood sugars level, okay, and today I saw the doctor. He said, unbelievable. He said, look at your creatine levels. They went back to what they were in 1999. Okay? You have any idea of how happy that made me feel? Okay? Back to 1999. Now I'm going to tell you one thing. Okay, staying active, keeping my brain sharp, and I walk a couple miles every day. Okay? Oh, but I am from my friend in London. You're 72 and still dating year-olds. Come on, can you share some of them? Send them here to Los Angeles, buddy. Huh?
Oh yeah, the pharmaceutical company. They control our Congress, our Congress, our lawmakers, and Senate. There's so much control by these lobbyists, and the biggest lobbyists who are who? Pharmaceutical companies. Oh, and Israel. Oh, they're a big part of it. There's Wanderer. How are you, honey? Huh? How you doing? Vinny Dover. How you doing, buddy? Eric? How are you? Thank you. Do I date? Yes, Stacy, if I have the opportunity, okay. I just think, there's a lot of beautiful older women, okay? And some of them I see on Instagram, there's this one woman, okay, look for her. I'm 83 and she talks about what she does. 83 years old. She's older than me. But I'm going to tell you, she looks like she's 55 or 60, okay? I wrote her, she had to wrote me back. So I don't know where she lives, but any of you find her, try to hook me up, okay? Because this old man still got it, okay? He still got it, folks. Don't think he doesn't, all right? And I'm going to tell you another thing that's keeping me alive, whether you think so or not. My coffee and my espresso. And I have a minimum of 3 double espressos a day. That's after having 4, and they're not cups, they're mugs of coffee, okay? All right? No, I drink it black. I like stuff the way it's supposed to be, okay? I don't want all that cream and all that shit that they put in it, okay? Turkish coffee is really good. Jamaican coffee is good. I drink Sumatra from Indonesia. It's one of the least acidity, okay? Eric says, Amanda will know as a pretty woman till the day they die, yeah. Scottish coffee. How's my mate doing over there in Scotland? How are you? Good to see you. Hey, there's Mandy. I didn't see you, honey. I'm glad you're here. Okay? And folks, you know what? If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. And please, hit the like button. And I want to give a special thanks to all the members of the Gangster Circle. Folks, there is a membership. It's only $4.99 to join the Gangster Circle. And in the Gangster Shack, they get information that I don't provide anywhere else. I posted a story yesterday for my friends in the Gangster Squad. And so they're the first to know. And I will be telling the name of this individual that I spoke to. And we text and email, and we follow each other now on social media. Folks, it was a young man when I met him. He was a little boy, okay? Same time that was the first time that I met his father. I met his sisters, his mother, all at the same time at a restaurant in New York City, okay?
He ended up wearing a wire on me, his father, and others. It hurt, definitely hurt, okay? But you know, at the end of the day, for some reason, whatever it is, he did it, okay? But folks, to have hatred and to carry hatred around with me, the only person I'm hurting would be by myself. Yeah, if you are carrying hatred for others, remember that you're hurting yourself more than that other person, okay? And don't forget that. Because even though there are a lot of bad times and things that I went through in helping, I call him a young man then, now he's getting old too. We all get old eventually, you know? But, you know, I love found you a woman today. You did, Stacy? You gonna be my woman? We gotta talk, I gotta tell you. But folks, I gotta be honest with you. We had some great phone conversations. He's doing really good with his life. I let him know that I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him for what he's accomplished, and that I'm still his uncle. Okay? And hopefully, he might be coming to California next month, August, almost here, right? And if he does, he and I are going to do a show together. And I know I'm going to get a lot of feedback from certain people. I already know who the people are going to call me different name because I'm talking to a rat. I don't give a fuck, okay? I got to live my life the way I see fit, not the way others think. Yes, I don't like rats, okay? But what can I do? I can't do nothing about it, okay? You know, you saw that if you saw Vlad 5, 6 years ago, me and Michael Franchise were battling each other. And I said, what the fuck are we doing this for? It's stupid. It's dumb. All right? Why are we hating each other? Not putting a penny in his pocket, not putting a penny in mine. Okay? So, Michael and I buried the hatchet. And we've had conversations. And I always get a lot of people coming in on my comments. They want that battle to go. Okay? Folks, I could tell you, there won't be any. So for those of you who keep wanting me to battle Michael Franchise, it's not going to happen. Do I have information that would have hurt him? Yeah, I do. I had it. I got rid of it all. I don't care, folks. Okay? I care about today, this moment. Because this moment, tomorrow, that's what you got to think about. The future, not the past. Because we can't change the past, no matter who you are. Okay? Lake Effect, thank you for coming again, buddy. All right? Tomorrow is not promised to us. All right? But folks, and for you men, think about what makes a real man. All right? A real man is not the person that's calling other people names. A real man is not the person that's degrading other people. Okay? That's not a man. So, you got to think to somebody, yeah, somebody did me wrong. Okay? But you got to be able to forgive it. Move on, go with your life. All right? Eddie says the light interview is legendary. I guess it is. Okay? Hello, Robert Horton from Kentucky, Horse Cave, Kentucky. How are you? Stacy, what am I have for dinner? I don't know. I buy a lot of junk food. I'm going to tell you something like that. Oh my God. I buy a lot of junk food. So I just want to tell you folks again, okay, I haven't revealed the name of this individual, but for those in my gangster circle, I'm going to be telling you who it is, okay? Hello, VC100. Did you subscribe, my friend? Okay? Did you subscribe yet? Huh? Folks, if you subscribe, let me know you subscribed so I can give you a shout out. Okay? Wouldn't it be great if, this was YouTube where we could see each other, okay, and have conversation? All right? That would be awesome, wouldn't it? Ah, that was good. All right, who subscribed? Kelly Rowe, you subscribed. Thank you so much, Kelly Rowe. Where you from, my friend? And welcome to my family here. Oh, thank you so much there. We're Dom. Do you just subscribe too? Okay. That's awesome. Hey, folks, have you been here before when I read from my book? I read certain things in my book. How many of you have heard me read? I'm going to read a little something more to you in my book, folks. Most of you know I'm Maurice Spado. I'm the author of The Accidental Gangster, From Insurance Salesman to Hollywood Fixer. And what happened all in between. How did that happen? It's all here, folks. In my book, yesterday, I read you a letter that I wrote to Sonny Franchise. You see, there's something in my book that you will never see or never have seen in other books. I wrote letters to my children. I wrote letters to my friends who are deceased. Okay? I wrote a letter to Michael Franchise. Yeah. Oh, I bet you want to hear that, huh? Come on. Leave me a comment. You want me to read the letter to Michael Franchise or to the letter that I wrote to my very, very dear friend, Jimmy Kachi, the underboss of Los Angeles and the boss of Palm Springs, California. What one? Come on, tell me so I know what one to read for you. All right? Yeah, Kelly, set up private Zoom chat. Kelly, do I have anybody that lives near me here in California? I'm in Beverly Hills, California. Do we have anybody? Because I'm not good at technology. I don't know how to do all that stuff. Huh? Kelly, I don't know how to do it, honey. I'm gonna learn though. I learned that it's a good idea that we'll do. I'll put something together. Uh, Actually, just before I began it, I was putting a special deal together for people who joined the Gangster Circle, and that they pay for it for a year up front, that I will send them an autographed copy of my book. Okay? So, now let's see. Letter to Michael Frank. These letters are so good, folks. But I said Michael Franchise, so let's read it. Okay? Hi, Michael Franchise. I hope all is well with you and your family. I must say, a lot of people are very disappointed that we ended up with a feud between us. And as I said, I will no longer be saying anything about you. However, there are a few things that I feel it necessary to say to you. Going back 1978, 1979, you and I first laid eyes on each other at the Russian Tea Room in New York City. That we know. And yes, you are correct. After that, you and I had no interaction at all until after your release from prison. And you asked your brother John to set up a meet. I just found a typo in my book. All right? Meat. They spelled it MEAT. Oh my God. We had a meeting at the Rangoon Racket Club in Santa Monica Boulevard in Beverly Hills. You and I had a conversation in the alley, Michael. After the meeting at the Russian Tea Room, your father and I became close friends. Right up to the day he died. And yes, you are correct. When I was with your father, you never were around, as you were quite busy in those days. However, in later days, I became close friends with Jerry Zimmerman. And you heard Michael talk about Jerry Zimmerman. Some funny story. You had to know Jerry, okay, because he was a funny guy, okay? And Jerry was a great guy, a good friend, and he and I made a lot of money together. Jerry always went after the short, quick dollar, but with me, he learned how to go for the bigger dollars. Until the day Jerry passed away, he always had a box of papers in his car about you. Things that happened with you and a lot of documentation pertaining to many things. The book ended up with me. I became friends with Billy Ferranti when he lived out here in Florida, as well as Bob Harris, and I were still friends to this day. And when I lived in Little Neck, I did go to your dealership in Hempstead a few times and met with your father. However, you were not there at the time. Michael, there's one thing you did say that still bothers me, that I got your brother Johnny on drugs, which you and I both know is not the truth. I'm sure we can agree on that for sure. I spent a lot of time with your mother, but there is no need to repeat what she and your father told me, as I do not think it means anything at this point. Michael, as I said, there was something you wrote in your first book that was true, and I remember that, which is the reason that I never took my button. It was not easy for me to walk my way out of it, but I did. And I gotta thank you, because it was something you wrote in your book. I sincerely meant what I said about not saying anything against you or putting you down or anyone else for that matter. However you want, you can continue to say things to keep the fuel going. But I will not give a response either way. I wish you all the best, Ori. And folks, I could tell you, Michael and I had conversations. Now, there's some things I disagree with Michael, and I let him know. I disagree with him on his stance with the Tate brothers. Okay? I disagree with him 1,000,000%. But he's entitled to his choices, his decisions, and what he does. Okay? Now, I never met the Tate brothers personally. I wish I did, especially back in the day, and I knew what I know about them. They wouldn't be around. Okay? Because we didn't like men who beat women, pedophiles, the sick, demented things, the Tate brothers. You know, I did a post and I mentioned Bugsy Siegel and Albert Anastasia, okay? And man, I think you're calling me a weirdo. Oh boy. So anyway, folks, I don't know if you remember, a lot of you are probably too young, but Albert Anastasia was a high executioner. All right, he had a crew of all killers. One night he was watching television. Now, I don't know if you remember, but there was a bank robber by the name of Willie Sutton. All right, he was robbing banks all the time. He got caught because somebody ratted on him. Albert Anastasia was watching television, watching TV, when they showed the guy who ratted on Willie Sutton. Albert didn't know Willie Sutton, didn't know him at all. But he sent his crew out to unalive the guy that ratted on him. Because that was our mentality back in the days. And that hasn't changed with our mentality with a lot of gangsters. Okay? And that's, Albert and Anastasia were alive, there'd be no Tate brothers around. So I wanted to say that there, you know. Here you got the Tate brothers crying that the water's shitty in prison. Folks, in my 5.5 years I did in prison, I did not see anybody die by drinking the water, okay? I never heard of anybody becoming unalive in prison because of the water or the food. Is it horrible? That's your boots it is. But it's prison. What do you expect? Okay? You're not going out to a 5-star restaurant. All right? Kelly Rose, this the first day you met me, honey? Where are you from, Kelly? Are you from the United States or Canada? Let me know, Kelly. How many people, we got anybody here in Los Angeles? Folks, you know, on the serious side, yeah, I'm looking for a lady to date, okay? I'm not looking for marriage, you know, none of that stuff. I'm not looking for a young girl. Well, I look at the young girl, but I'm not looking for a young girl, okay? I'm still a man, I like to look. There's Cindy Prim, how are you, honey? Okay, thank you for coming. All right, Melissa O, subscribe. Thank you so much, Melissa. I appreciate that. Everybody who's subscribing to my channel, you know, helping me grow. One thing you know about me, I tell the truth. I give you exactly what my feelings are, like it or not. I can't control that, okay? But, you know, I try to be respectful to everybody. Melissa, subscribe. Who else subscribed here? Come on, tell me. And folks, we're at 87 likes. Can you get me to 100 here? All right? Sage, how are you? I'm doing great, Sage. I feel like $1 million today. You know, folks, I told you I was out buying a car. I didn't go to car dealerships, okay? Because I know all about car dealerships. I was in that business, all right? But I bought off Carvan, I gotta tell you, finally. And I got a car coming August 4th. I didn't go fancy, none of that stuff. I just need a car, get me around. And I found a nice Chevy Malibu white. And got everything on it I want. And it's got low mileage, only 50,000 miles on it, so that's no big thing. No, that's it. So August 4th, I get that car. August 3rd, I'll be in San Diego. I have a speaking engagement. I had a really great event for doing it for a really great guy. Greg Reed motivates. If you haven't seen him, he's on social media. Look him up. Great, awesome, amazing guy. And so, folks, I don't know, boy, it's 3:29. I still think it's morning. You know what time I got up today? I got up at 4 a.m. this morning. And here it is. I'm still going. No nap. I keep it moving, folks. You know, people ask me. People ask me, what do I do? Folks, I never thought I was going to live to age 63. My co-defendants still call me up and go, we thought you were going to die. When you were in prison, you were 63. Because I was 63 when I got arrested and indicted on RICO charges. 63. And I did my time in prison. But they still write me, go call me up and all that. You can see who my co-defendants are, because that's another thing that you don't see in many books, folks. All right? What you don't see in my books, you don't see in other books, is my paperwork, okay? The pleas, my sentencing, okay? It's all here, folks, okay? The same paperwork. that you need when they put you on the yard in a federal prison. You need your paperwork to show that you're not a rat. And I'm going to tell you, they try to slip in rats, but they always get uncovered in the general population. Always. So, I want you to know that. So, when I hear the Tape Brothers crying the blues, I just laugh about it. They'll do anything to get attention. And they're going to get some attention once they get extradited to England. Not the kind of attention that they'd like. They're saying that they're not innocent. And according to what our law says, you're innocent until proven guilty. But you got to remember, that saying comes from the government. But you know what the inmates in prison who are fighting, going to trial and fighting their case, people like me, my co-defendant, our saying is, you are guilty until you can prove your innocence. It's the opposite. The scales of justice are not equal. You all see the scales of justice? They're not equal. They're like this. All right? We outside training wants to know how it was back in your day. Well, let me tell you, that those days have never come back. Those were awesome, great days. We had no cell phones. Didn't have cameras all around like we got today. You were able to move around. We had a little bit of freedom to do things that we don't have today. Now, being 81 years old, I am seeing a lot of changes in the world that a lot of you haven't seen, or maybe have not noticed. You've probably seen them. Okay, Kelly Rowe, you're in New Zealand. Awesome place, I hear. I gotta get there. A lot of beautiful women there. And a lot of them follow me. That's great. So, where was I? I forgot. See, I get all tracked because, see, it's a pretty girl, and I get distracted. That's been my whole life. Seriously. Yeah. I was a womanizer, folks, back in the day. I gotta be honest. Okay? I was a womanizer. Had a lot of fun. I had a lot of women. Boy, I could tell you, oh my God. Here in Los Angeles, oh my God. The clubs back here in the old days. Nikki Blair's up on Sunset Boulevard. You got no idea how great it was. Okay? Someday I thrive for those days. You know, it's funny. I wake up in the morning, I got a lot of energy. If nightclubs were open in the morning, I'd be there. But they don't open till what, 10 o'clock at night? I'm in bed sleeping. Oh, see how everything just reverses in life? It's what happens, folks. You know? But it is what it is. We got to accept it. And learning to accept things is something that many people can't do. The only person that could change anything is you, yourself. Nobody else could change things for you. No, you go, you try to get advice here, advice there. Only you can do it. You gotta have the right mindset. Huh? Kelly Rose, you're new to New Zealand? Where, are you from the United States originally? Mandy wants to visit you. Mandy's an awesome girl. How you doing today, Mandy? Mandy's been busy, folks. Okay? I couldn't get a hold of her for a day. I got nervous. I go, what happened to Mandy? Okay? So then she finally called me. I said, make sure your children got my phone number. And today, both of them text me. Evan and Ariana both text me, and I got their phone number, put in my contact. So Mandy, you can't get away from me now. AQ telling me to chill out. Stacy in South Florida. Oh, they're down in South Florida. I keep saying I'm going to get down there and I want to visit my son, but I've had so many things to go, and I got to be honest with you. I hate flying nowadays. I detest flying. You ask me what's changed, okay? Folks, back in the day when I started flying, I tell you, I always flew first class. First class was only like $50 more in those days. It wasn't a lot of money more. Or at least it wasn't a lot. I was making a lot of money, so, you know. But, and you know, you went to the airport, you bought your ticket, you got on the plane, and you got to where you had to go. Oh, and by the way, look at it. We were able to do that on the planes. Folks, you have no idea how great it was. And then ever since 911, now we got TSA. It's such a hassle to get through that. Oh yeah, I pay extra now. See, everything the government does is going to end up costing us more money. Okay, I just had to pay $54 so I can get right through TSA. Okay? I mean, they add a charge on for anything possible. And you folks wonder about, why can't we afford anything? Taxes. I told you about the car. Okay, you know how much I had to pay in California taxes? All right, and that nuisance just increased like crazy. Okay? They don't give a shit about us. I love you, Stacy. I gotta get down to South Florida and meet you. You ever get to California? Come here. Huh? And folks, like I said, you haven't joined the Gangster Circle yet? Please do. It's a modest sum, $4.99. I selected the Gangster Circle instead of going on Patreon and charge $10 a month or something like that. Okay? I want to be able to give you my information right here. And information that I don't provide on my live show only goes to my member only. And there's a lot of things that you want to know that I will only say there. So, go ahead. Mandy wants a letter to Michael Franchise. I just read it, Mandy. Didn't I? I read that letter to Michael Franchise. Jonathan wants to know my age. I'm 81 years old, Jonathan. I think I am one of the oldest guys on social media. I'm sure there's somebody out there older than me, okay? But as far as the gangster world goes, I'm probably the oldest. I don't think anybody. Michael Franchise, he's only 75, okay? He's still a kid. So, but he's been at it longer than I have. God bless him. He done well. Huh? Mandy tells me my comments are slow. Well, that means you're listening. That means you're listening today, folks. I hope you're subscribing, okay? You know, folks, if I was allowed to do this, I could sit here and talk to you all day long, okay? Like we were there at a bar with our elbows on the bar. Oh, you can't smoke in bar rooms no more. Oh, that's another thing they took away from us, okay? Do you see as I talk how many things I have seen taken away from us in this country? But yet we are still land of the free, home of the brave. I can say this, we are the home of the brave. Are we still the land of the free? Leave me a comment, all right? Tell me what you think, all right? Thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate it. Agent Orange, thank you so much, Agent Orange. I'm so blessed to be able to still be here on this earth and come to you and give you my wisdom. Then from your mother, 95, young girl. Thank you, Surround, okay? What's the worst situation I've ever been in? Folks, I was never in a situation I couldn't get out of. Let's put it that way, okay? Either from fighting or, outsmarting the other person, all right? But one thing I always knew, I got more using my brain than I did with a gun. And rest assured, all you could do the same thing. You don't need a gun, okay? Use your brain, okay? Mandy and Cindy, you girls keeping busy today there? A lot of trolls. Hey folks, I want to tell you something. Now, I told you I went to the VA this morning. You know, there's a lot of female veterans. And boy, I was sitting down there in the waiting room. This girl walked in. Was she gorgeous? Beautiful. And I saw she was sitting across from me scrolling on the phone, like everybody does, scrolling on their phone, right? And I started talking to her. I said, what are you looking at? I'm just going through my Instagram. I said, do you see me there? She said, you're on there? I said, no. I said, went over. I said, here's who I am. Oh my God, she said. She was amazed, okay? And beautiful girl. Unfortunately, she's married and she got a child, but we're following each other now on Instagram. But I'm gonna tell you, damn, another time, okay? They got this like little restaurant. You get food and so forth at the VA hospital over here, all right? And so I was checking out, going, you get your food, and then you got to pay the cashier. And there was a woman behind me, and all she bought a couple of bananas. Folks, I don't know what happened to me. I was slow. I was never like this. I told the cashier, I'll pay for those bananas for that lady. She was beautiful. I paid for her. She and I talked. All right, she told me she worked where she worked over there in mental health. She worked. Okay, gorgeous. When I go to VA now, I can't wait to get there because I'm trying to find her again. I didn't ask her out. What was wrong with me? Am I getting that slow? That upsets me. When I get that slow, I'm picking up a woman, something's wrong, okay? But I'm not going to let that happen again. And rest assured, I'm going to find her. And hopefully she's not married. She might be married and have a boyfriend, then I walk away. Because I do not ever date another man's woman or wife. Okay, don't do that, never have. Okay, that's wrong. So, yeah, let's hope everything goes through. They told me they'll be here August 4th. But August 3rd, I'll be in San Diego at a speaking engagement. And can't wait to do that. I rented a car for that day. All right? So, folks, look at you know what I got to do now. All right? And it's almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Everybody have a great, blessed day. And like I always say, do something kind for others. It'll come back to you tenfold. All right? And all these grudges you might have against other people, get rid of them. Okay? You don't want to live with that kind of stuff. Okay? Learn to accept everybody for who they are, love them, and be happy.